We are live. Yes, here we go. Paul McManus on the live already, Bobby.
What
Jumping
a boy,
right on
Shagger.
there.
Shagger McManus.
Yeah.
Good lad. Good lad.
Superb. So, guys, as you're jumping on, drop a little comment in. Make sure that you can hear us loud and clear. Give us a wee fist bump. He's laughing. He's laughing. Bobskin. He's laughing. Brilliant.
What a boy, man. What a boy.
Barry Colvin, how you doing, my man?
I'm 12.
Loving it. Okay, guys, so as you're jumping on, as always, hit that share button. Hit that share button now. Hit that like button. As I say, drop us a comment. Let's get this out there. Let's get this out to as many people as many people as possible. Hit that share. Let's do it. So, guys, as you know, Mr. Bobby Linn on the live this evening. I'm getting dry mouth already. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here we go. Yeah.
The boy's nervous. He's nervous.
Yes. Just saying that before we came on, guys. Still get the butterflies in the stomach every time, but super excited. So here we go. Bobby Linn tonight, guys. Ex-Dundee, Greenock Morton, now Arbroath Legend. Proper Arbroath Legend.
It's a strong word. It's a strong word.
Yeah.
Legend.
Well, mate, you've earned it. You've earned it, I would say. Yeah. But no, just amazing with the team. Loads of individual accolades as well, mate. Unbelievable career. Still going strong. And not just my mucker, not just my great mucker. You're actually my family. You're actually my family.
So this is going to be an exciting one, mate. It's going to be an exciting one. Anything could happen in this. Anything could happen.
Yes. So here I remember you turning up the Granny Bruins when you were 13, 14, mate. Sitting at the back. You had to come up to your mum on a Sunday because you were grounded.
Honestly, right? I mind, I was grounded fucking for years, honestly. From 13 to 16, I think I was grounded month by month, right? But I mind in Granny Browns, right? I mind I first met Ryan Clark in there. And mind Bonbon started attacking me and Ryan Clark, and we're trying to get to introduce each other. Bonbon starts attacking my feet. He's a mad dog, Bonbon, like.
Crazy, yeah. Bonbon fell in the Irish Sea, yeah. I had to get when your Granny Brown was getting the ferry across to Ireland, fell in the Irish Sea.
Yeah, that's right. I always remember her telling that story, man. Brilliant.
Brilliant. So, guys, as I said before, loads of more people have jumped on. Well over 100, 120 on the live right now. Hit that share button. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. We greatly appreciate it. And I'm in the zone, ready to rock and roll. First and foremost, Mr. Bobby Linn. Mate, much appreciated for you coming on. Been trying to get you on for a while, but eventually managed to nail you down. Spot on, mate. How are you doing?
Mate, I'm good. It's took a few weeks to get on, but I appreciate you giving us that 20 grand in the car for coming on, mate. That was nice of you. So that'll look nice in the drive, right? But all's good, mate. As you know, like lockdown and that's happened, and it's been a few bit doom and gloom at times, but it seems to be like the end of the tunnel for everybody. Jobs, work. People are getting back to work. Gyms hopefully opening soon, and we're looking to get back to the football soon. It's just
any sign when you're going back?
Well, we've been told on the 19th to go back in for some testing and that, and then we're back on the 24th for a season to start on the 17th of October. So it's a bit different. It's not what we're used to, but listen, what's happening? There's nothing really you can do about it. It's just got to be the safety of everyone else and whether it's safe to go back. So we'll see what happens. We'll get a wee crack at it when we go back. But apart from that, I've just been working through it. On the benches,
You've not had any time off, mate. You've been frontline worker right through.
Come on, mate. As binman, honestly, it's a rubbish job. See what I mean? That rubbish thing. Right. No, mate, it's
we've started already.
Nah, it's I had to get that in there, mate. I had to break the ice every day. I'm not sure if it's made anybody laugh. It made you laugh, so that's good, right? But we've had to work right through it, mate. And honestly, Dundee's been a bit hectic with it. Like it has been a bit manic in the job, and as I say, we've had to got up every day and obviously keep the streets clean and do our bit. But that's just the way it is. Everybody's quite happy to do that. I got a wee break last week. I went away with my missus to a cottage for her birthday, so that was good to get away for a few days, away from it all, and just kind of chill it for a few days.
Yep, I started following. I seen you tagged it on your Instagram. I started following the wee page. That was a wee belter, mate. Hot tub the lot.
Mate, I probably got a few unfollows after that week because I posted that much. Nah, it was good. It's a boy in my team. It's a boy in my team. Mark Watley, you'll probably know Mark. It's his cottage. Mate, it's lovely. Like, it's really nice, and it's away in the country, so quite chilled in that. It's a wee break, so you get out for a wee nature walk in that. But it was good. Hot tub, summer, and that. You can't go wrong with it.
Quality, mate. Quality. So when you go back
to you've got a smile about you. What's you seem a wee bit nervous or that? Are you all right, mate? You just got that.
I've just followed through, mate. I've just followed through. Oh, you've made us forget what I was going to say.
That's good, though, mate. What did you have for your breakfast this morning? What did you have for your breakfast, mate?
Skivved it, mate. Skivved breakfast today. Just had a wee coffee, yeah.
Did you, mate? Nice, mate. Right, on you go back to what we're talking about. Come on.
You've made us forget what I was even on about, man. Brilliant.
I've got to catch you off guard, mate. I've got it, right? Right, take them out.
No, that's what I was going to say. How's the season going to look then? If you're going back in October, how's that going to look?
Well, what they're saying is you're going to just play each other 3 times. They're just so instead of 4, and I think that the reason for that is in our league is for fans. I think a lot of the teams, especially the part-time teams, need fans in the ground. So if you could even get half, that would help the club money-wise. So I think that's maybe how you're try and put it off a bit as well. So by that time you could maybe get half a stadium full, which is fine anyway. So that's what I'm thinking. But it's been strange, mate, when you're that used to training a Monday, Wednesday, and then playing a Saturday, and then you're not doing that. It does tend to get to you. You tend to get a bit frustrated. You'll know you're still with the training side. But I've been training myself in that, but it becomes a bit.
That's what I was going to say, mate. I thought you were going to let Jack football and retire. Look at my dogs.
No, well, mate, this is the thing. This is the plan, right? Probably playing another 2-3 years of the football, right? And in this time, I'm getting valuable training and knowledge at the boxing. So probably, one amateur fight, one fight. I think I've always wanted to do it. It's just something I've always wanted to do. Enjoy the boxing. I'm not sure if I'm good at it, but there is times I get a bit drunk and I'll maybe go to Twitter and I'll call the fighters, but they never get back. So I don't know if that's not there for them or they're just like, do you know what I mean? But seriously though, I really do enjoy it, and I think I've already asked Dick Campbell if I could fight, and his reply to me was, "Son, get out my sight or I'll wrap you in the purse." So that was Dick Campbell's reply. He says, "While you're playing for me, you will be boxing." And so we'll wait and see. Once I finish playing, I'll maybe try and get a wee fight. Yeah, I'll wait and see.
Yep.
But it's something that I've added into my training. I love it. I do post a lot about it and that, but I love the training. The training is great. I train with some good guys as well, and they're all keen as well, and they're there to help you. So it's good though. It's good.
Yep. Brilliant, mate. It's quality training. We had Sam Hickey on last week, the week before as well, and all the guys who have your training will have helped to bring him through. Good squad.
Right, yeah. That's right. They're dedicated to it. And see what's great about them as well. Like they didn't get paid for that. Do you know what I mean? So we've got a group chat, and honestly, like even the day that it's booming, because if you can get out in the rain, they'll go outside in the rain and train. But obviously you can't. But we're on the training tomorrow, and you're sitting at Wednesday and that. So you've got to respect them for that, because it's taking at their time, is it? And they're going out and all with us. Do you know what I mean? To train you and help you. So I appreciate that.
Definitely, mate. So I'm going to take you back, Bobby. I actually see someone again on your Instagram today, your wee primary scale football team. The Legends.
Yeah, that was Invincible season. That a lot of people say I've no changed. I got a message today saying I look like Harvey on it, but everybody said they could spot me on that photo, like just a cheeky grin they say. But good memories for back then. It was a great team. Really fell in love with football probably a bit then. Going with your pals, going on the run we did and what we won, and now still pals, a lot of them to this day. A lot of people go separate ways in that, but it's something you look back at and it's fond memories, mate.
100%. 100%. When did you ken you were good, Bobby?
Oh, I still don't even care if I'm good. I still don't think. I think. Come on, you need to. There's got to be some point where you need to have belief in yourself.
Yep.
I think for maybe a number of years when I was younger, you kind of question yourself: should you be where you are? Maybe at the age you are, should I be here? Should I be here? And I think the older you get, the wiser you get, and in that time you gain experience. And I think when you do that, it brings self-belief. Does that make sense? That you have the belief then that you feel, and as well, I think looking after yourself is a massive part of it as well. And that's one thing I've learned over the years. I mean, if I had my mindset now to if I had my mindset back then to what I've got now, and things probably could have been different. Do you know what I mean? But you definitely need to make sacrifices. You need to be, you need to believe in yourself and confidence, and sometimes a wee bit of arrogance. There's nothing wrong with a bit of arrogance. You know what I mean?
Yep. Definitely, yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong with a bit of that if you channel it. But I think from a young age, like I was doing well from 16 to 17. It was like a whirlwind, like from leaving school, and then 8 months to 12 months later, I was in the Dundee first team, scoring goals against Hearts, and you're playing with the likes of Ravanelli and all these boys, and it was, I think looking back, it was probably a lot to take in at that time. When you look back at it and you think, what's going on? You're then going away Scotland squads, like say with Charlie Adam, Ross Wallace, Jamie Winter, and boys like that. And everything's kind of happening for you. Probably need to keep yourself a bit grounded. You need to keep your head on you and again make sacrifices, and that's sometimes where it can make or break you. And it certainly got to me a bit, I would say.
So coming out at 16, and then thrown in the first team so early, how did you deal with it?
Well, what was happening was when I'd come in full time, I was just 16, I'd left school, and it was kind of just like in that year, I was tracked from, because I was doing so well, scoring goals, they put us into the 21s, and then I remember we were training at Caird Park, under 21s in the first team, and we were on separate pitches, and I remember Duffy coming over and he says, "Wee man, you're over there today," and it was, I remember that feeling, I was petrified, and they were doing boxes, 2 wee boxes. So I came over and the boys are agreeing us a bit, and they're like, "Right, you're in the middle, wee man." And I went in, and as soon as I went to sit and closed in, Gavin Ray fucking megged us. So it set the tone. So they're all slapping us on the head and that, and it just set the tone. But I mean, after that, it was great. They looked after us. Boys like Lee Wilkie, even Novo, and that to an extent, they really did look after us. Barry Smith, they took us under their wing, and it was great. It was great, but quite terrifying as well on match days. I remember we played, when I made my debut, it came on against Partick Thistle, and that was my debut and first touch. I remember Gary Brady gets the ball, he turns it and he zings it out to me, and I've touched it and the ball's went right into the derry, and I'm thinking, fuck, that's my first touch. But thankfully after that I got a few early touches. I think the belief they had in me gave me the belief, because the manager was get the ball to him, and they were feeding us, and I started to come into it, and even after that he stuck with us, and for the rest of that season I played a lot under Duffy.
Yep. Because I think like going for being such a young age in a man's environment, you know what I mean? It's a lot to take in, is it?
Yeah. I think that's where I probably see, to be honest with you, like looking back at it, when I got to that stage, for me, that's where the hard work should really start. You've worked yourself to get there. Even if you're that age, you should really then go, I've got to make these sacrifices, and I've got to knock my pan in here, because this is just the start. You don't even just look at Dundee, look beyond that. I think that's the way you've got to be. You've got to think big. I think I probably slackened off at that point, I would say. I think for being such a young age, and then what was happening, it was just a whirlwind from school to where I was. you're scoring, like that game was against Hearts. I know the Dundee fans still have fond memories of that. It was a massive game. It was the first game in administration, and it scored, and it helped the club stay afloat. And I've got fond memories of that. My mum and that was there that night, my brother, and I think when that happens, and then you start to think, wait a minute here, I'm a bit of a player here, or you maybe get that wee bit of arrogance about you, and then maybe you start going out drinking with your pals, and you think, oh, everybody's starting to recognise me, and I'm honest enough to say I would say that's what happened. I probably struggled to deal with it, with what I had in front of us, and I probably enjoyed the latter, where I was going out with my pals and being recognised, and do you know what I mean? And that's probably the sacrifice you need to make. And nowadays, it must be even harder trying to be a footballer coming through nowadays with social media and everything that comes with it. But I would say for me, that was probably where I kind of let myself down.
Yeah. But you still, like, when you were going in and training, still getting 100%, but just that wee bit of attitude after park started to creep in.
I was still training hard, but then the actual side, it did start to creep in. There's times I wasn't really turning up, and that wasn't on Duffy, and I didn't accept that. And Stevie Campbell was massive. He was a massive help to me. He was my coach, Jinky, and that was my coach as well. And they were there for us. They've done a lot. They've done everything they can, but I just seem to have been at a stage stubborn. And then when things had kind of went sour a bit. Well, no, I wouldn't say sour, because a lot of people come away with stories with that Dundee that me and Duffy didn't get on. He was great with me. I still speak to him now. I sent him a message a few weeks ago, because I think he had a heart attack. It was, so I gave him a message and that just to see how he was and wish him well. But it was just a case of that it's not really happening, and maybe it's best to move on and go and see if you can get your head together and go and do well. But when I played there, the opportunity. On you go.
No, I was just going to say he was the first man to sign me, age 14. When he was a manager. He was a manager at Hibs when I was 14. Signed me at Hibs. Right. That was the first club I went to. And, he was brand new. I thought he was brand new as well.
Scary guy, mate. Great guy. Great guy. Scary guy. Like tough as nails. I shouldn't have laughed, but I think at one point it got that bad that see the boys that was on day release for Castle Huntly. I would be Duffy would put me with them. I'd need to paint the stadium with them, and then I need to go and set the pitch up and that with them, honestly. So one day I've come in and they've brought in like an all-in-one boiler suit that they had to wear at the castle. So I've got that on and wrote on the back and that. So I've done the runs. I had to do runs around the pitch, so I put that on and done the runs at the pitch, and Duff just gave us a wee slap in the head and he says, right, get that off and get back training, Ken. So it was a bit of tongue-in-cheek, but I could see where he was coming from. He was just chill after us, you know what I mean? Yeah. But mate, like even again, like you're going through school, a few wee duels against Si Ferry and that, we were all at the same school. Great lad, bonkers, but great lad. So going through school and then to Dundee, and again you're playing with like Sir Ravanelli, do you know what I mean? Craig Burley, Big Wilkie, Novo, Caballero, Sarah. It was some team that I played in, and it's a lot to take in as well. Next minute, I was away to Italy with the squad just for experiencing that when they were in the UEFA Cup, and it's all just a learning curve. But no, it was a lot to take in as well, but really enjoyable.
Brilliant. You were still young. Really you were still young. You were still young when you left, Bobby, because
it was 19. 19.
19.
And if you see photos for then, I probably look older than I do now. I had this mad Oasis haircut. I was just like, it's me head, mate. Like, and I look back, I think, I didn't go a bit like that, like my hair like that. Big side lappers and that, but another in it, Dens. One Sarah, boy Callum McDonald used to laugh at this. One Sarah boys call us Linny, but one Sarah, probably to this day, he used to call me Liam. And I never ever corrected him. Every day he'd come in and say, how are you doing? And I would just look at some of the boys and go, I'm not saying that at all. So I've never seen him now, he'd probably still call me wee Liam, mate. Brilliant.
You have some player though.
Brilliant. He was brilliant. Yeah, I think I remember when I started against Hibs and Duffy had read out the team, and it was, you read it out, Sarah, Ravanelli, and honestly, I was that feeling just, and it was, I think I became unwell right after it. I was just like panicking. Dave Mackay and Barry Smith and I came up and they were like, "You'll be fine. Don't worry about it." And I could remember Burnley got sent off after about 20 minutes. And I mean, putting a tackle in front of the Derry, just got caught up and I got booked. And Barry Smith's like, keep the head. And then I remember after 30 minutes, the board's going up and it was me. And they brought on a subby. And I was given all this, fucking throwing the hands down and all that. And then when I went off, Duffy's like, "Wee man, you'll start the next game." I had to do this experience. Do you know what I mean? Went into 10 men. It was probably 9 men with me the way I was running a bit, mate. But he changed it, and he was true to his word. The next week against Motherwell, I started. He looked after us. I started some big games. I was fortunate enough to go to Peterhead and play at Peterhead on the tail against Rangers at home, and just these games for me at that age is something I'll always remember. I got Stilian Petrov's top at Celtic Park when we got 3-2, and I've got that to Liam Dugan, and he's still got that to this day. But I asked him if he wanted mine, but he says, "You're all right, wee man," and tapped us on the head. So I was so I forgave him for that. So Stan, if you're listening, that's shocking. If you're on the live, Stan, that's poor.
Who stood out, Bobby, when you were training on a daily basis? Who stood out when you went, "Oh man"?
I think Caballero and Novo were special. Kishan is really as well, but for me, Caballero and Novo were frightening, and you knew Nacho was going to get a move. He used to give me his boots. So I used to clean his boots and that, and he was a nice guy. But you've seen the potential of him. He deserved his big move. But Caballero as well. But I remember him coming back unfit, mate. He came back one pre-season and the Duff lost the plot with him. Like, he was huge. And it's probably, when you look at it, he was just probably so frustrated because he knew the ability that he had and what he can do for the club, and probably even sell him on. But he just became a bit disillusioned with football, and he just came back unfit. And then I think he ended up leaving after that.
Where did he go on to?
I'm not sure, mate.
He should have went again and again and again, mate.
He was tipped to go to Celtic and Rangers and that. But I think the size he came back, I think after he left football, he started working on the doors in the Mardy. Size of him.
The Mardy, what days were they, mate?
Mate, I've got stories about the Mardy, man, honestly. Tuesday nights, 17-year-old, can be big Jamie Langfield and all that, hiding in the corner. None of the coaches will see you. They'll probably know now right enough, but good times, mate, good memories. Someplace.
Brilliant. Yep. Here, you mentioned Stevie Campbell while I was on a couple of weeks ago. Absolute legend. Love Stevie to bits. What was he like for you, Bobby?
Mate, Stevie was brilliant. When you mention Stevie, you just got a smile. He's just an infectious character for me. From such a young age, he looked after me from probably 13 onwards at Dundee. It was probably down to him that I chose, because I was tuning with United and Aberdeen at the time as well. But with Stevie, it was unbelievable. The training as a guy, he took us under his wing a bit. He stayed in Lockheed and that, and I was Charleston, and we just had that bond, that connection, and he's been there for us. You know what I mean? He's always kept an eye on us and kept in touch. And funnily enough, I seen him. I was out for a run on Sunday, and I seen him up Burke Hill, and I had my earphones in, and seen him in the car, and he drove about a mile speaking to us. He's asking us what I want from McDonald's and that. Mate, get McDonald's, me man, I'll meet you at the end of the road, he says. So he's just brilliant. He actually stopped and turned back round and came to see us. You know what I mean? That speaks volumes, Stevie. He could have drove on, but he's just a really, really nice guy. And I heard he gave us a few mentions in that on his.
You got a shout out, Bob,
a few weeks ago. He gave us a shout out, but great guy. What a time for Stevie.
Outstanding, mate.
Outstanding. My teeth, mate. Just flossing my teeth.
Go for it.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Crack on. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Take your time.
It's all right, mate. Just go. Just fire on, mate. Just a bit of floss, mate. Right, we're going. Let's go. Come on. Let's get back to the serious stuff.
So, tell us the story. What actually did happen then when you left Dundee?
So, then what do you mean? The day I left?
Yep.
The day I left, I went in. Again, there's a lot of people that seem to think that they knew what happened. I went in, I spoke with Duffy, we had a meeting. He felt that the talent that I had and the potential, he was getting frustrated, so he wanted us to go and see a psychologist and try and progress from that. I thought that I knew better and thought, playing and I was involved in drinking, and I just thought that probably, again, took my eye off the ball and says to him, no, I'm quite happy to go. And he says, I feel you're making a mistake, and we signed the papers that day. I remember getting my bag and leaving that day, and you always think, was this the right decision? And it's something that now I'm older that you learn to live with. But I think the good thing for me was that you need to get yourself back to basics and continue to play. And then that's where I went on to Peterhead and was quite successful there for a year and a half. And then moved to Morton, and that's when I met some crazy people. Like, that was when I met some crazy people, mate. Like, Peterhead was good. There was a lot of Dundee connections there. There was Robbie Rayside, Keith Gibson, Paul Mathers, Dougie Carman. There's a lot of guys, Dundee boys up there. Who's the gaffer? It was Ian Stewart and Paul Mathers. They were the guys. So really good, enjoyed it, and then Steve Patterson and that coming, and then I'd moved to Morton at Christmas time, a year and a half later from Dundee. So it was a strange one because I was in Morton on the 1st January, but we had to play them on the 29th, and Steve Patterson made us play. It was a strange one, and then the deal got done up the road after that game, and that was a bit of strange playing a game knowing you were going to the team. So it was a strange feeling playing that, but then had to play against them. So it was, and they were going for a league at the time as well. So do you know what I mean? And the one I put over the bar, I meant to put it over. So, but so then you're going from being part time to then going to moving to Glasgow into Diggs and Port Glasgow 3 days later, and then that's you're full time there at Morton. So that was quite an interesting place. As soon as I got there, the day I got there, I was told, Roseanne, she was brilliant, the woman that looked after us in the digs, she was like, right, here's the rules. And there was only one rule, and it was, don't leave the house after 8 o'clock at night, because it was that dangerous. I'm not kidding you, in Port Glasgow, because of like loads of stabbings and that. And it's just like, there's only one rule, don't leave the house after 8 o'clock. And I was like, right, thought it was a wind-up, but when I went down and met the boys and the manager, like seemingly it was quite a dodgy area. And then I was there for a couple of months and then got a flat with Kieran McInnesby in Glasgow. And it was around about that time that the wee madman Michael Gardine signed, mate. I've got a funny story about Mids, right? Yeah. Yep. So again, like going through as a wee Dundee boy and that, because they see us as tutors, right? You've got to go into these dressing rooms and hear a bit about you. Do you know what I mean? You've got to go in and have a wee bit of savvy and a wee bit of patter. So I went in, got slaughtered for my Oasis haircut and my Adidas zipper. So I stood no chance, right? But went in and I still speak to some of these guys today. Like, I made a lot of pals at Morton, but it was difficult. It was only 21 when I'd went there, and it was difficult to transition. The boys were great, but when Mids joined, oh, what a boy, nutter. So I mind you're still in at the settling in stage, and I mind getting a brand new pair of Nike Cortez trainers. I mind going, these are the ones, like, I'll go into this dressing room and they boys they'll be buzzing, they'll be around me like, wee man, where'd you get them? They didn't, I never said anything about them, right? So I'm going to training, I went and trained, he was injured with a boy, Dean Keenan, and I come back, mate, right? I come back for training and I've just looked at him and I'm like, what has he done? Because he's always up to something, right? I'll just tell you what he done with the soup, right? Because this has never probably ever come out, right? The cook makes a big soup, right? Mate, I walked into training one day, standing over, pissing in the soup. I was like, you see his wee white ass over the soup, mate. I'm like, what are you doing, man? And he just looks, he's that funny look, and I'm like, boys come in and ate that soup. Boys come in and ate that soup, do you know what I mean? So, right, he's just a madman. You'll probably hear so many stories, right? But get him back to mine. We get a shower and that, and we're all sitting around in the dressing room, and I'm like, all these boys sniggering it. What's funny? So I get changed, getting my tracksuit and that. I get to my trainer's, Dean, and I've just looked down and pulled him out, and I've just went, "You fucking cunt." He's shotting my trainer. He's shotting my trainer, right? And he's not only shotting it, right? He's got a knife and he's like spread it round like the heel and that. And mate, honestly, I'm greeting with laughter, but at the same time, like got a bright red face, and they're like, I'm like, you're fucking dead. They're dead. They're my new trainers, mate. And that was just, what can you do, Ken? And he's just, I love him to bits. He's a brilliant guy, and even that story is a funny story, and we still talk about it to this day, mate. But the trainers had to go in the bin, mate. They had to go in the bin. As well, honestly.
I've actually
for a wee guy, mate. Oh, he's some boy, brilliant. You'd be a good laugh.
Yeah,
so
I've asked him to come on.
His story, mate.
Sai had a couple of funny stories as well.
Sai, yeah, they were good pals. I think they were at Celtic together as well. But he left Celtic, came to us. He was great signing for us, and I think that's when he went up to Ross County. Not a good player, not a good pro. Looks after himself.
Had a good career, mate.
He's looking good. He's looking fit, like.
Yeah.
He's looking fit. I think he's getting a testimonial up there and that. So, good on him. Nice. But bonkers, mate. Bonkers.
Who else was in that Greenock team, man, Bob?
Mate, there was, who would you know? Peter Weatherson, Paul McGowan. What a nutter he was. Quite right. He was on loan for Celtic. Great guy. You can still speak to him today now as well. Like, great guy, and quiet. But see when he gets the drinking on, mate, he's just bouncers and that. He's not. So he was kind of to be kept on a leash when we were out with him. Like, but thanks to Peter Weatherson, Ryan Hardin, Jim McAllister, Chris Miller. There's quite a few boys that play there.
Yeah, that's a decent squad, isn't
it? Mate, the good lads, Kieran McInnesby and Derek Lilly played in that team as well. But the good patter, the Ouija's, I like the Ouija. Ouija's are good crack, mate. I like the patter. I get slaughtered. I probably get people texting us saying, "Oh, you've got that Ouija twang in your interview." I always get that for people, but it's just something I've just always had for some reason. But I mind my first away game for Morton, right? We were playing down at Stranraer. The boy Dean Keenan, I'm not sure if you've heard him, but he's another one. He's not a man, it's a Ouija version. And downstairs, where you eat your meal, there was like a bowls. See where you play bowls? So it was a big carpet, and there was bowls. So I'm quite quiet, and I'm my mats, and I mind just coming down the stairs, and that Dean Keenan's lying flat, face down, and he's like, "Right, go." The boys about 30 yards away have rolled the big bowl, mate, right off his head. Busted his head. Mate, he's still got the mark to this day, and I'm like, is this a football team? What is this here? Right, and I was at the zoo when I went there. You had to go up and tell the manager. I busted Jim McNally, right, an ultimate pro. He's like, "What the fuck's happened to you?" He says, "Oh, well, we're playing bowls and somebody threw a bowl at me." He got dropped and fined a week's wages, and we got beat 2-1 that day, and we're in the dressing room. He's like, Jim McNally's like, your fucking mind's running on it. You're getting boys fucking getting hit in the head with balls. It's funny. We're like, going for the league as well, mate. Unbelievable. Funny guy. He's still got the mark to this day, mate. But just wee things like that, mate. You never forget wee moments, like wee memories like that.
Yep. Oh, brilliant, mate. Brilliant. So, moving on, mate.
Yeah.
Off to East Fife.
East Fife.
Is that right?
East Fife.
Is that right? Yeah. Am I getting that right?
Morton to East Fife. Morton to East Fife on loan. Towards the end, it didn't really work out at Morton, and I was leaving.
What was it like going full time? What was it like going full time, part time, back full time, back part time?
I think because at that age, it was still quite relatively young, so it was fine moving into that environment. But it's just getting your shots in that in training. I did notice a difference going for the park in the first few months at Morton, because Jim McNally's training was high intensity. There was heart monitors and things like that. Some of the boys used to, mate, some of the boys, see the 4 minuters the other day, some of the boys used to put the heart monitors on their dogs, eh? And the dog would run about and you'd get the readings, mate, and he's going, brilliant lads, great that time. None the wiser, right? You obviously never done the analysis on the data, kind of. You never done the homework on it. So he's like, great, that's a great time. We're putting on the dogs, mate. But nah, the training was quite intense. But I think going back to part time, you need to be able to look after yourself a bit more and do a wee bit extra. But at East Fife, you got that. The season I went to East Fife, I won the league. I actually won a league at Morton as well. But when we went to East Fife, I won a league. And so it's been relatively successful as well for a young age. Winning leagues, a lot of boys play and don't really win leagues or whatever, but at any level winning the league's great. So we managed to win that. You get your few trips to Magaluf as well for winning it. And but again, mate, I've just went off on one there, right? We'll go back to East Fife, right? Just love to blather.
I thought you were still speaking about East Fife.
Is that what I'm talking about, East Fife? I'm not sure, mate. I'm just rabbiting on here, mate. But what time is it? Anyway, right, here we go. East Fife, so won a league, and then for there, it wasn't that we were playoffs, and then there was relegation playoffs and that, but we managed to sustain that and had a quite a successful time at East Fife. And then there was
moved. Playing that team, Bobby.
Played with Big J. Played with Big J, Dougie Cameron. I played with them boys and Paul McManus. Great side, great bunch of boys as well. Big Chris Templeman, Stevie Crawford, Lee Makel. Some good players like in the team. But John Robertson became the manager. He was probably the best I worked under when I enjoyed working under him. Took managers in as well. Gordon Jury. But when Jury was in, there was nothing green. No green bibs, no green cones, nothing green. Mate, stopper. And so I got on quite well with him because used to have a bit of banter and that. And I mind Rangers were dominating for a couple of seasons, and I mind bringing in a Celtic top at training, and when I came back it was burnt. I'm not sure what, but it got burnt. It got burnt, mate. So, but good time at East Fife. We were quite successful, obviously winning the league, and if you're scoring goals and you're playing, you're happy. If you're contributing, so no, I enjoyed my time there.
Yep. Gordon Jury, what was he like to work for? Because unbelievable player, eh?
Mate, see even the shape of him when I was there, he could still play. See at that time he was still able to play. He was a unit. A pro. He was. Do you know what, mate? See when he spoke, he was one of them that you listened to. I just had a lot of time for him, and it's mad because I watch games now when you look back at the Euros and for Scotland and that, and how much he played. Like even at Tottenham and that, you don't even like seeing the Premiership years and you see him and you think you didn't even realise that. Like, it was strangers, you thought, but great guy as well, really down to earth. Hates Celtic, as you could see. He's got that mentality, the 9 in a row, and you could see it, mate. You could see it. He's a winner and he's a unit, mate. He's a big guy. He's a big guy, but I think he had a wee bit of a stroke or a heart attack when he was at East Fife, so I think he had to step away from it a bit after the year I left. So yeah, I think he took a bad turn. So he's took a bit of time out, but I think he helps at Rangers and that and does a few things there in the background there.
Good. John Robertson, your wee striker, quite similar, eh? He's
Robo, yeah. I never knew him before I went there. Great guy again. That's legend. He was another one. Great to play under. Still speak to him to this day. He's tried to get us up to Inverness a few times, but it's never really happened. But he's another one good guy. You could just text him, just ask how he's doing, and you'll just get a blether one. You know what I mean? You could talk about going shopping and that with Robo. You know what I mean? He's just off the cuff, mate. So good guy though. Good guy, mate. He was travelling for Inverness as well, mate. That's a commitment that you see for like not just players but managers as well. Like he was working up there with his oil and he was based up there, so he was doing a lot of travelling and that. So I wasn't driving at the time, and he was taking me from Fife to Dundee and then shooting up the back road of Burkina up to Blair and then away up the A9. So that speaks volumes of him as well. So, big respect to him.
Well, that's some journey every week, or a couple of times a week.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mate, it's some amount of miles.
Ballingry.
This is where it gets interesting.
Well, I actually put a post up, right? The reason I'm saying I actually put a post up, and Murray McDowell jumped in. Well, what about Ballingry? You've left out Ballingry. So did you see it? So I had to jump back in and edit the post.
Listen,
but here,
this is the thing, right?
The longer was.
This is the thing, mate. Nobody believes me, but I've always been a Ballingry fan since I was a kid. Growing up, I always wanted to play for Ballingry, mate. And nobody ever believes that. You know what I mean? I think Big J and Big Alan Ratley and Dougs and that were all the same. But listen, I made the choice to go there. At that time, I was speaking to Dundee. I was speaking to Barry Smith about going back to Dundee. It never quite materialised in the end. So that was a bit sickening. That was a bit of a downer. Because I'd had a few meetings in that with him. So that was a wee bit of a downer. And then I spoke to Wraith and Alloa. I met Hartley with Big Wilkie. He was kind of looking after us. So we went to meet Hartley at the Swallow. And John McGlynn had spoke to him when he was away in Magaluf. Yep. But I think he was pissed when he phoned. He must have been in a nightclub or something, but he was definitely pissed. He's called Robert and that. He called Robert. So,
Roberto.
Who's Robert here? Nah, no bore, John, no bore, mate. Right, see it? Bad line. So then Binman came up, and I worked under Willie Gray, the guy that kind of pumped the money in at East Fife. So it was, for me, like financially, and you were getting a car and things, it was a no-brainer. But when we went, Dean, it was a real wake-up call, and I think that was what really gave us a kick up the arse. Like, don't get us wrong, you did get decent money and things like that, but it didn't last the whole season. You were still getting paid. You weren't getting paid on time. You were probably getting 6 to 7 at training at nights. When you're used to a good professional setup, it's difficult to go into that environment. So at Christmas time, that's when Sheeran came in and wanted us to go to Arbroath. But we're asking for money and that, so we just signed a pre-contract. Yep. And I was quite happy to get that done, because I think after that you kind of question yourself and you think, wait a minute here, 27, I'm going from this back to seniors while I manage it. But God, that's where I feel it really kind of kicked off for us in terms of personal accolades and awards with the club, and obviously the personal ones, because I felt it changed my mindset for there, because when the first season I went back in to the League Arbroath, I managed to win the PFA Player of the Year. So, I mean, at any level, win that is amazing. It's an individual award, but your teammates are a massive part of that, massively. So, to win that though, with your peers that vote for you, that just gave us a wee bit of confidence. And again, that builds your confidence. So, from there, we just kind of kicked on. And it's been the best club I've been at. It's brilliant, honestly. It's a great club.
Yep. Yeah, you're mentioning winning an award, mate. When I went on Wikipedia just to check out what the stats were, mate, it was like the list was just endless. I was going to copy and paste it, mate, but Facebook wouldn't allow it to fit it in.
There's been quite a few, is there? There's been like there's like four leagues, 5 leagues, good team of the years. There's 2 PFAs, but I mean the leagues are the most important. I mean. And you're playing a team that's part of a team. You win it as a team. You know that. That's huge. And the individual awards are a bonus if you win them. But here, the feeling you get when you could win a PFA is unbelievable. Again, at any level. And the twice I won it, the 2 times I went up in the speech, man. Everybody in stitches, mate. Honestly, and I genuinely was just trying to talk, but everybody just was all over it. But. It's daunting, it's daunting. Like,
one time you went up, you tried to speak, you had no voice.
Didn't have any voice, mate. But when you go up, like, the first 2 tables are Rangers and Celtic, so the eyes are on you, and you've got to try and keep your composure. And that last time, I'd been up all night, I think I could won the league. So the boy Mark Watley had to come and get us at 10 in the morning. We were sleeping in the car going through. I had to throw a suit on, and then I won the award. And I'm up, and when I went to speak, my voice was gone, and everybody was just in hysterics. And that was it. They knew straight away, so it kind of settled us a bit.
Yep.
But nah, it was good. On you go.
On you go.
But no, Arbroath's been good from the start. Before Dick came in, we were kind of up and down, but when Dick came in, there was a real mentality shift, and even the way the club's going, commercially and financially, and obviously getting people in the punters and the gates, massive difference. And I think that shows on the pitch as well how well we've done.
I remember when you first went, mate, you were flying when Paul Sheeran was the manager. They were flying in, and then just hot a wee bit.
He was still playing. It was it's an actual extension when he was there. He signed us, and then he went off to Aberdeen. So that was a bit of a sickener. And then Alan Moore took over for a season or so. And then there was Dick had spoke obviously about coming when he got sacked from Forfar. And I'd never worked under him. He tried to sign us a few times. And funnily enough, when I signed the extension, I rejected him and said with Sheeran. And he's not let me forget that to this day. He's not let me forget that to this day. But mate, I'm doing the business for him, so he's happy with that.
That's brilliant.
He's happy with that.
That's brilliant. When I came back to London,
he came in,
he was the manager.
When
I came back to London, he was the manager at Brecon, and I actually signed.
Right.
I actually signed, but only went to a couple of training sessions, mate, and then that was.
Mate, what a guy, mate! What a guy, mate! Honestly. His team talks are like you're at a sports dinner. He'll slaughter you for your trainers. He'll slaughter your hair. He's just one of the boys, mate. He's brilliant, and he's patter. He's got the accent, and he's a mad fifer, and he's just got the patter as well. He's got the lingo.
Not every person who I've spoke to was mentioned him or played under him, and that they said he's been amazing,
Yes, he is. But mate, do you know what I really respect about him, and is see the age he's at and what he's been through. Like him getting sacked to Forfar, he could have went, do you know what, that's me. But the desire, mate, and determination at his age and the love for football was, honestly, you've got to commend him for it, because he's just a winner, mate. He's every training session is like he's his last. And in games, mate, there's no coincidence how well we're doing, because he gets boys playing for him. He gets it on side. He's stood up. He could be quite harsh at times, but mate, we've got quite an experienced squad in the age group. I've played at a level, so we know how to take it, and you know that he just wants the best out of you. He treats everybody the way he feels they should, and that's the way it works for us, I think.
How many years has he been there now, Bobby?
He's been there 4, mate, and we've won 2 leagues. We've got to a playoff final, and he's kept up in the championship. So if he was to leave now, you would say he's legendary status for where he's got them. But he's wanting to kick on, mate. We've had a chat on that, and he's wanting to push on, because he felt we could have maybe got playoffs. You never know, Dean, what could have happened.
Oh, you never know, mate.
We did kick on. A lot of teams will tell you that. I've got to get this in. We beat Dundee United at their place. We beat 100% record. So for all you United fans, get it up, yeah. I'm just kidding. But I mean, going to places like that for us, even the United fans.
Bobby, I'm a United fan, and only a season ago they were shouting for Bobby Linn to get to Paradise.
I mind a few comments you were putting that in, but mate, with my D connections, there's no many of them that'll take me in there. Like, there's no many of them. But as I say, when we went there, we got beat the first time, 2 goals in the last 2 minutes, and we won the second. But their fans were great when we came off. They showed respect, they clapped, they waited on, but they stayed to the end. We're thankful for that. But we've got to go and try and stop teams and make it difficult and try and score ourselves and win the game. But we've done that a few times last season.
Yep.
I think when teams come to Arbroath, mate, and see in the winter time, mate, we'll go and maybe sit out in the dugout, right? See with the wind and the rain, we'll sit in the dugout, we'll just read our programmes, some of them blow away at your hand and all that, brilliant, and a bit of patter, and you get the full timers that come out and they're like jackets and that, and you could just see it, they're like, fuck this, what is this? You can't play in this, and the game goes ahead, and they try to play, and we just get right in their faces, mate, and they can't deal with the wind. It's a fact, mate. Like, the teams do struggle, like, and I think the whole setup before the game, travelling up, you think, fuck, I've not really a great day today. You could be at Dens one week, Tannadice, and up to Arbroath. Do you know what I mean? So it's a mentality thing for players to come up. I think that's how we've done so well.
Mate. I think mentally, as you're saying, kind of thinking about going and playing against Arbroath on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night, dark nights, wind howling, it's pissing around. You're thinking,
I know,
I know, mate. What
I know, hearing every shout that gets shouted to you as well. It's quite an unforgiving place, like. But it helps us. It goes in our favour as well. But the thing is, you could say that about Arbroath, but I think away from home we've ultimately just been as good. The gaffer, he keeps the core of the squad. We've probably got 10 or 11 that's still there for the first time we won the league when he came in, and he just adds to that. And what's interesting about him, mate, is you get a lot of teams that are maybe going to try and get the best ability, and he'll get personality to fit the dressing room, and that's what he does, mate. And you notice that with the players he brings in, and I think that's how it works for him as well.
Yep, he's done well over the years with keeping or bringing players with him as well. Like he's had players at teams where he's liked. He's worked with them a lot, and he's brought them well.
He's brought them on. That's what I'm saying. Like there was quite a few at Forfar. He's had a few, I think, at Brechin as well, but. He seems to have that pulling power to bring them, but he's brought some great players in, like Tam O'Brien. He's just signed a 3-year deal. There's a lot of teams looking at him. He was a good one, so that's good for us to keep him in. He's brought some good ones in one, but great. You need a good camaraderie in the dressing room. You need good patter, and mate, he takes you away to Magaluf. You know what I mean? He could be screaming at you on a Saturday night, telling you to hand your wages back, you shower of cunts and all the names under the sun, right? And then you could be in Magaluf and he's got the sombrero on and the flip flops, and he's just bouncing about with you with a drink and all. He's good crack, mate. They're good laugh, and they look after the boys as well. But he's a character, like he is a character.
Did he take you into pleasure land after the game on Saturday after you win?
He comes in the dressing room after a win of that, and he'll come in and he'll just start pointing at his teeth, and he'll go, "These kids say, la kitchen, you cunts." He's got these new teeth. Bought these new teeth, man. I always remember we brought the young goalie in for Aberdeen, and he had a howler against Fairman. He conceded 2, and the gaffer's come in. He's like, "Right, sit the fuck down. You, are you nervous, son?" He's like, "No, gaffer, I'm all right." He says, "Because I'm fucking nervous watching you. You're off." He took the young boy off, mate. He got sent back to Aberdeen the next week. He's bonkers, mate. He doesn't care. He doesn't care, mate. And then did you obviously see him when he got that 11-game ban right here? He's trying to fight the ref and that. Did you never see that?
No, I never seen it. No.
Oh, mate, if he got the ref that day, he would have assaulted him, mate. It was brilliant. Brilliant. So the boys still share the video on that with him. I think we should have had a penalty, and he never gave it, and it was a Scottish Cup game. I mean, every game for him, it's like fighting the bell. He's right up for it. But then they get the penalty, mate, and he's next minute the ball got cleared down the line, and here's the gaffer running on with the bunnet, trying to chase the ref. He just lost it. He forgot where he was. He tried to grab the ref. He couldn't get him off the pitch. He got an 11-game ban. He got an 11-game ban. He was getting, they were calling him Stone Cold Campbell, this or that, and the other videos are going up for the He's brilliant, mate. He was great. He was great, like, but he's brilliant. He's done a lot for the club. Him and his brother and the coaching staff, Big Rab and that. I mean, you've got Big Rab and that as well. Look at him. Look at who he's played for and what he's done in the game. These are guys that you're working under. So even at part-time level, so that's great for us.
Yep. He's coming on the show in a couple of weeks, Big Rab.
Is he?
Yeah, he's coming on.
Is the big man coming on, is he?
Buzzing for that one, mate.
We get a good laugh with Rab and that when we're over in Magaluf. We all go together and we meet up with them. The gaffer takes you away and that. You get a full team in that. So it's good crack, you get looked after. But I'm really good. I hope the big man gives a mention. I hope he will. Or if he doesn't, wait, I'll put it out there. See if he doesn't, I'll not empty his bins. So it's up to him. It's up to him, mate.
Yeah, for a club like Arbroath as well, Bobby, like being in that championship, yeah, brilliant for a wee tune like that,
mate. Like the thing is as well, see when you look at it, like what I hear respect for as well as the fans, mate. You get a lot of like in here in Dundee, Celtic, Rangers, Dundee United. These guys are spending. They're working and spending their money and travelling. I mean, fair aside this, like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, there's still boys there that travelled to Annan away fucking 7 years ago that are still there now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are people that have just put their life and their money into the club, and even in lockdown, like they're raising money. They're always trying to help the club, and I think there's such a togetherness at the club, and a lot of teams like coming, a lot of fans like coming down to Arbroath to say it's a nice away day, friendly people, and it is a good welcome club, mate, and it's definitely up on the rise. Like that's what it is. They're a wee town, but
we've been in that championship though, with teams like Dundee United, Dundee, were like just down the road. We're going to bring a good fan base with them. It's going to generate not much just money for the club, but the boozers and around it and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but for us as well, if you're getting the fans coming through the gates at the home games and they're packed to the rafters, that's what you want. Do you know what I mean? That's what you want, and that's what happened when we played Dundee and Dundee United. Obviously, the season got cut short, but we played them week after each other, and I think it was something like 78,000 that was through the gates over the 2 weeks. So for the club, that keeps you afloat. So, or adds another couple of players there. Pays Bobby Linn's wages.
half of it, mate.
Half of it. You put this on, Charles.
So the playoffs is a goal for this year, mate?
I would say so. Well, I think for them, I shouldn't have jumped in there. I think first and foremost for us, again, it's safety, like stay clear of relegation. We're not getting carried away with obviously the season we had, but we're confident within the division, but we've just got to keep to what we're doing and see where it takes you. But I think relegation first and foremost, and then if you can get up the playoffs, I don't see why not.
Yep. Brilliant. So what's coming from next for you, Bob? How many years have you got left?
I've got a 2 year left, right? I've just signed a 2 year, and I've got a testimonial with the club. They've granted us a testimonial.
Brilliant.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to hopefully get Dundee up for that, and look forward to that. And 10 years at the club, it's a great accolade to have as well. I don't think there's been one for a few years there anyway, so it'd be quite fun for me to get that. And then after that, I don't know what will happen. Maybe step inside the ring at some point and see what happens. But I'd like to keep playing as long as I can. I would like to think after 10 years, like that, I wouldn't just be done. I keep myself fit. I keep myself going. I'm still enthusiastic about playing, and I still enjoy it. So I think if you've still got that drive to keep playing, then surely you keep playing.
Keep going, mate. Yep. What about coaching? What about management? Coaching, management. What are you thinking?
Coaching something to come up, mate. A lot of people ask us about that, and it is something that interests us. But just at the moment, I'm just playing. I'm just going. I think at coaching, you can do your badges and that at any point. I think right now you could still learn at the age I'm at. You're still learning and learning. Play the likes of the manager and that. Don't think there's any rush to do the coaching badges. The knowledge is there, but I think at some point I'll look to do that. You just never know. You'd be 10 years at a club, maybe when you can get that could be an opportunity. You just never know. So you've been a good servant. You see what happens. So maybe in the future I'll look at that. But focus now is cleaning the mean streets of the D as a binman.
Love it.
So that's what my focus is right now.
Quality, mate. Well, listen, there's literally hundreds of comments that have came in while we've been on the night, right? But what I'm going to do is just going to ask if anybody's got any questions now while Bobby's still on, fire them into the comments box and we'll see what he's got to say on them. But Bobby, at any one time tonight, mate, we had over 300 people, over 300 on at any one time, mate. It's stayed between 250, 300 the whole way. So it's come down a wee bit now, but honestly, unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. Top banter, loads of laughing faces. Loads of laughing faces in the comments, mate.
Good, mate.
Tap Scaffy. So, mate, anything else you want to say before you go or anything like that, mate?
Mate, there is one thing, right? There's one thing that I was quite nervous about coming on tonight, right? I was probably the last time I was nervous as that was when I had to sing in front of my teammates, right? So I'm going to sing the song in front of my teammates now, right? Just for this, right? Here we go, right?
Let's do it.
I keep on falling in out of love with you. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I feel blue. I keep on falling in and out of love with you.
Yes, mate.
Great finish. Here we go. Mate, I had to do that in front of my teammates, mate. Honestly, I'm as nervous I've ever been. Here, good voice, though, eh?
Oh, what,
I
mate?
might go into the singing. I might go into the singing after the fit bag. Yeah, I might go into the singing, mate. Be shoes on the TV in a few years. Top dollar, mate.
Paul Lennon saying, ask him about chapping doors outside tea in the park.
Mate, right? We were at tea in the park, me and Paul. Oh, we've been on the drink all night. We had to walk to Milnerthorpe to go and get a taxi. It was roasting. I had to tap this woman's door to get a drink of juice. Me and Paul, covered in mud, been to tea in the park the whole weekend. The woman just sat on her wall, and she was just, she said, "He's okay, boys. He's okay. I'll get you a drink." So eventually got a drink, and then went to get a taxi and get taxi. You can that feeling. That was brutal. Mate, Paul paid the taxi. I don't think I've ever squared them up for that though. 50 quid, I think it was. So you can't put them on of it.
Outstanding, mate. There's too many comments coming in, right? Honestly, it's going rapid. I can't even read them. It's actually there's so many coming in. It's mental. But Bob,
brilliant,
mate,
brilliant.
Absolute
class.
Pleasure.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. It's been well worth the wait, mate. Definitely. I love you a bit.
Good.
Much appreciated for coming on.
Anytime.
Guys, spot
all
on.
the best.
Very much for tuning in tonight. Share this
nice
wide.
One.
Share it high. Share it wide. Get going. Thank you very much for all the comments, all the likes, the whole shebang. Peace out. Catch you later.